AskReddit by Greaserstique. People of Reddit who have lost a lot of weight. What was the game changer? For me, the game changer was regular exercise. When I don't get regular exercise, I crave garbage all day. Anything heavy and salty. Burgers, cheese fries, burritos, pizza. But when I get regular exercise, I crave only clean foods. Grilled chicken breast, salads, grilled vegetables, foods with nutritional value. I don't know why that is, but it created a positive feedback loop for me. The more activity I got, the less food I craved and the better quality food I craved. I'm surprised how lifting has changed my body. I always thought it had to be cardio, but regular resistance training was the ticket for me. Quitting booze after decades of being an orgy. I just quit after decades and all I want is to eat sugar and starchy things all the time. Edit. Wow. Thank you for the upvotes and award. Just having a better understanding of portion sizes and calories becomes easier when you get used to your new menu and become familiar with what will fill you up without being too high in calories. Never drank much alcohol pop already, but now I'm more averse to wasting calories on a drink. I was 195 pounds in August of 2021, 30F, 5 feet 6 inches, dealt with some digestive issues which forced me to change my diet, and not being able to eat everything all the time made me drop a lot of weight quite quickly. Most recently I went from 152 pounds on the 25th of May to 132 pounds today. I walk regularly and run occasionally, mostly to help with digestion and mood. The last point I think is critical. Exercise isn't just for weight loss, it's a massive mood improver. I think because it's a controlled time of suck, which makes any time after that feel easier. A lot of it was mental for me. I realized that I was eating stuff that really wasn't worth it. Like, did I really even like that sad donut I just ate? So now if I'm going to eat a high calorie food, it better taste really good and be worth it, because exercising for something not that great isn't worth it to me. A lot of times if I felt like eating, I would just pretend I ate whatever I was hungry for because I would still feel the same way if I would have ate it anyway. I've gotten to where I know a food is gonna taste okay, like really middling, but it's gonna definitely make me anxious, feel like crap, spike my blood sugar, and the older I get, the easier it's been to just be like, nah, that crappy cookie isn't worth it. So I try to make sure any treats, pointless calories I eat are like top tier quality. Fresh, homemade cookie level, or it's not worth it. Store bought hard cookies? Nope. Pass. Deleted. Lol, that's why I got sober. Someone close to me told me I'd never do it. I stopped the next day. Proving people wrong motivates me so much. Heartbreak. Yep. It's been 5 months since he asked for a divorce and I've lost 45 pounds. It's less depression and more out of spite to him. Was like 320 pounds. Went to local amusement park for my son's 2nd birthday. Got on a ride with the overhead bars. I had to switch to a bigger seat. The attendant had to forcefully push on the bars to get it to lock. I almost passed out from not being able to breathe. The overhead harness was too tight. Cried after I got off the ride and started going to the gym and lost 70 pounds. It's going to feel awesome when you go on that ride again now. Pickleball. Seriously, I lost so much weight that I thought there was something wrong with me. Went to my doctor, she ran a whole series of tests, then finally came to the conclusion that it was my pickleball addiction. She recommended that I drink a protein shake after play to help keep my weight stable. It has, although I am still at near my lowest weight since I was a teenager. And yes, I feel great. Edit. This weight loss didn't happen overnight. It took about 2 years. I started out about 20 pounds overweight and lost that weight in about a year and a half. But then kept losing and eventually lost 30 pounds total before adding more calories to stabilize. I'm still 5 pounds under my ideal weight but feel great. I play pickleball 3-4 hours a day, 6 days a week. I realize not everyone can do that. But it is what worked for me. I think if a lot of people had a fun physically demanding activity, the obesity issue in America probably wouldn't be so much of an issue. I had gotten blind to how fat I had gotten and how terribly I was eating. I was in Walmart and had a buggy filled with garbage and I was looking at the discount cake when a guy who walked past us said disgusting under his breath. It made me feel awful. I took everything out of the buggy, went to my car and made an appointment at a bariatric doctor. They helped me learn about mindful eating as coping mechanism, all or nothing mentalities, sunk cost fallacies, and a lot of great ways to lose weight and keep it off. Happy for you, and if you makes you feel better, that dude was a piece of shit to say that. I took shrooms and had this huge life-changing moment where I realized the fantasy character I maladaptive daydreamed about all day for years and years could be the real me if I just tried and believed in myself. I've been working every day since then to make that my reality, and I'd say I've done a pretty damn good job so far. Your comment is off the beaten track, but, for me, the most interesting one here. There's a lot to be said for visualizing what you want, but it's absolutely true that you have to work to make it happen. Very inspiring. Seeing a specific picture of myself next to normal size people 100 pounds later, I can't believe I'll let myself get that big. Eliminating ultra-processed foods has been a game changer. I only recently learned that these foods actually increase appetite rather than decrease it. They are major endocrine disruptors, too. My endo explains them as a double whammy. Everyone talks about the sugar that's added, which is indeed horrible, but arguably worse is the reduction in healthy fiber. Without the right kind of fiber's diversity of fiber, certain species of microbes that have evolved to process them on our behalf, in our guts, wind up dying out over time. Fascinatingly, a few of these starved microbial species are critical in the natural production and release of the GLP-1 hormone, essentially what Ozempic is. They feed good fibers and release GLP-1 as a byproduct. Most people only know about it because it is known to curb appetite via signaling to the brain. The reality is that it's incredibly more important than that alone. It protects all kinds of critical stuff. Here is a pretty sweet diagram I found showing what you lose out on when you lose these CR. https://en.m.wikipediaorg/wiki/glucagon-like_peptid-1/media/file%3a functions ofglp-1.png. Wild stuff. Depression probably would not recommend this method. Depression made me eat. Neither is a good solution. Treating my anxiety and depression was a huge help for stopping my emotional binge eating. I started out life fat. For me it was the realization that your body is a product for your lifestyle. I realized I wanted to change my lifestyle. I didn't want to be noticed for my weight. I wanted to be able to feel comfortable moving through space. I changed my lifestyle. Started exercising every other day and learned about basic nutrition. My goal wasn't to lose weight, but after living that way I checked it at the doctors and I'd lost around 50 pounds. Reading labels. Most things have significantly more calories than I would have guessed. Sprints, instead of running for hours. Sprinting for 10 seconds, rest for 10 seconds. Do it for half an hour and you'd be dead. Burns extreme amount of fat and is a game changer. Completely cut out processed food and drink a lot of water. Type II diabetes. Mayo, that'll do it. Either you're scared and change your lifestyle, or your body fails because your A1C pops up so high you can't hold on weight anymore. Even scarier situation. I hated myself more than I hated not eating. I can relate all too well. Before I quit smoking I could only hit the treadmill for like 10 minutes, maximum. Within a couple weeks of quitting, I was going 45 plus. Meal planning. Seriously, there are 1,000 different ways to lose weight. Just saying I'm going to eat less sugar or smaller portions is not one of them. Creating a structured plan and sticking to it, whatever that weight loss plan is, was the best thing for me. Kept all those extra snack-sized calories from adding up. I did the exact opposite. I integrated a new rule every month and lost 64 pounds. Something like this. I will not drink my calories. I will not buy gas station calories. I will not eat fast food. I will not eat food I don't have to prepare. One meal a day will be non-processed. This worked really well for me and I think it can be catered to various lifestyles. Just pick the rules that work for you. Quitting soda. I broke up with a shitty significant other and started drinking less. Then I met the most amazing woman ever, and she got us both bikes so we could get out and enjoy the world together. I'm down almost 40 pounds and have kept it off for over 2 years. I don't know if that counts as a lot of weight, but I'm a short girl so it felt like a lot. We cycle 6-10 hours a week and I think it helps us have time to talk and bond over a shared hobby. Deleted. Getting sober. Lost about 25 pounds automatically from just not drinking over the course of the first 3 months or so, and then the desire to consume junk food late at night kind of disappeared and my life in general years later is so much healthier, so I probably lost 10 more pounds after that initial loss. Alcohol is poison. Understanding what empty calories were. The other thing is how much money can save by cutting out snacks and sugar. I lost 100 pounds by stopping soda and recreational sugar. And I saved thousands of dollars. This wasn't a first option, but I was having trouble losing any weight and could not get my blood sugar under control. I went on Ozempic and gradually lost 35 pounds. I do exercise some but honestly not as much as I could. I also eat generally healthy but also not perfect. Ozempic lowers appetite and does other stuff I don't understand. Feels like a bit of a cheat but one I needed. Same. It's really recalibrated my ideas of portion sizing, and I have so much energy now. I meal prep plan most of the time, I hike now, and I have started learning rock climbing, too. I have lost nearly 60 pounds since January. My A1C is below 5 now, when it was above 6 when I began. All in all, it's been a miracle for me. I've lost over 100 pounds. The shift for me was moving from a diet mindset to lifestyle change mindset. Rather than trying another fad, I cut out most unhealthy snacks, avoid drinking most caloric drinks, water and coffee FTW, try eating more meats, fruits, veggies than not, and got smaller plates doubled up by no more second, third plates ideal. Add regular walks on top and the weight just melted off. Sure, sometimes it's the opening weekend of football and I eat way too much pizza and drink way too much beer with homies. But since I'm not on a strict diet, having simply embraced a healthier living mindset, I don't beat myself up and veer back into overeating since I already let myself down or whatever. The next day I just go back to my normal life. Over the long term, it worked wonders for both my physical and mental health, who are a lot less stressful than fad diets too. Eating little to no sugar. Accepting that I don't need 3 meals a day and I can skip meals without dying. Keeping 0 snacks at home. Eliminating all soft drinks from my diet. Portion control. Swapping booze for edibles. Going to therapy and addressing my childhood trauma. I've learned a hell of a lot of issues can stem from it. Starting ADHD meds. Suddenly I only eat because I'm hungry. Game changer when I literally could not stop myself before and would eat until it was physically painful. This I lost 10 pounds just by getting an Adderall RX. I didn't feel the need to order meat to try to get a dopamine fix anymore. It was such a strange feeling to just suddenly not be interested in food if I wasn't hungry. I know 10 pounds doesn't seem like a lot, but I'm already pretty small and short at 5 feet 2 inches. I used to hover just over the healthy weight range for my height at 140-145 before meds. If you're looking for just one thing I eliminated that made a difference, bread. Processed carbs in America I swear should be talked about more as terrible foods. Intermittent fasting 18 hours. How do you keep yourself from overeating that 1 or 2 meals you have each day? Emotional trauma. I do not suggest this method. Commitment and not trying to find a short-term easy fix. I was becoming increasingly aware of my weight. My clothes were getting bigger and bringing 2 kiddos into the picture made me realize this wasn't it. Obesity-related complications were not a joke and my kids deserved to have a healthy mother who would be around for them. So I had the duodenal switch weightless surgery and dropped 125 pounds. Before anyone can say this method is cheating, I invite you to follow the strict guidelines and diet I was placed on the 6 months leading up to surgery. By the end of it you are on clear liquids and spending another 6 months transitioning back to solids. Not every solid is edible and not every drink is drinkable anymore either. Some make me incredibly sick because I simply can't tolerate it any longer. Losing weight and keeping it off is incredibly difficult. Good on you for using every resource available to you. It's not a super big amount of weight, but I was steadily gaining weight before, so any downwards movement is a big improvement. I started a multivitamin. I've got absorption issues of unknown cause, but when I started taking the multivitamin I became way less hungry. I guess I was deficient in something and overeating to compensate. Portion control. I lost 55 pounds by walking for 10 km day minimum, 6 days a week, minimum. I went to a checkup one day, they weighed me, the scale said 165 pounds. I googled 5 feet 1, 165 pounds and read I was basically obese. Called a weight loss doctor, she put me on phentermine. I walked every single day for 30 minutes an hour. Ate healthy for the most part, and drank lots of water. I am now on Wegovy, stopping soon. I'm 120 pounds. I look better and amp, I feel better. Phentermine was the jump start I needed to 192 to 170. Stopped taking it and low-cal led my way down to 155. Feels like cheating sometimes but it did the job. I started eating less food more often. Every 2-3 hours. And I started to chew it more thoroughly, and I started to take small pauses between each bite mouthful. That's it. I've so far lost 40 kilograms in 2 years. I still eat pizza with a Coke to drink with it 1-2 times per week, and I still eat 1-2 chocolate bars 2-3 times per week. I'm not even that physically active. I'm a lazy nerd who only walks when I have to. But since I have no vehicle, I guess it helps I always have to walk to the grocery store. I stopped snacking. Don't buy anything that's snackable. Back in 2016 to 17, I went from 220 to 180. I didn't do much other than just to log everything I ate in an app. Didn't make a radical change of diet, I just was mindful of what and how much I ate. Unfortunately, since COVID, I have since gained quite a bit more weight and I'm up to 245. My work having snacks and cookies freely available to grab thoughtlessly is not helping anything at all. Anxiety. It's fun because that can go either way. I found something worth living for, and being better for. I know people say you can't outrun a bad diet, and that is true, but I personally cannot lose weight without running. For me, it's like the running itself helps me realize how much work it takes to burn just a few hundred calories, and that knowledge helps me make better eating choices. Whenever I start running, I start eating better, and the two together help me lose weight. I also get positive reinforcement because the weight loss helps me run faster, so that encourages me to keep eating healthy. I was around 300 pounds, and one night for some reason I got the itch to do a push-up to see how many I could do. I struggled to do one, to the point I was afraid I was gonna fail and end up hitting my face on the floor and breaking my teeth. I was 25 years old at the time and thought, it's pitiful that a guy in his 20s can't do a single push-up. So, I immediately put on some shoes that night and went for a walk at around the stroke of midnight. The rest was history. Fasting. Cut out sodas and sugary drinks. Went from adding creamer and sugar to my coffee, to drinking it black. Started working out, walking, hiking more.